Hello, I'm Margot McKinney, and it gives me enormous pleasure today to give you a tour of World of Wonder at the Museum of Brisbane. It's been an absolute highlight of our year, and to be able to show you through the exhibition means an enormous amount for me. So let's get started. Welcome to Margot's World at the World of Wonder at the Museum of Brisbane. This is a very special room, the very first room of World of Wonder, and the room tells a story of how the business started. My great-grandfather came out from Northern Ireland in 1884 to find his fortune on the goldfield. As I have stood in the museum over the months talking about my great-grandfather, I think he would probably be really amazed to have a descendant 138 years later talking about him almost every day. But on the walls here, we have some special people in the business. On the top left is Cheryl Boone Isaacs, who is was the president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. It was really one of those pinch me moments to have my jewellery on the global stage at the Oscars. Julie Bishop, when she was the foreign minister and the head of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, was a great supporter of mine and continues to be a great supporter of mine. So it's a lovely way to start the tour. When the director of the Museum of Brisbane, Renee Grace, first started to talk to me 2 years ago about the proposition of having the exhibition here, well, firstly I was overwhelmed. But then when we started to have meetings and discuss how the exhibition might be planned, this is when the world of opals first came into being. When our opal miners are underground, they are surrounded by this colour, and they talk about chipping away and finding a seam of colour underground, and they call that being on colour. So really these amazing vignettes that are down through this tunnel of World of Opal are exemplary of being underground. 11 years ago, I won the International Opal Jewellery Design Award, which was a very important award for me personally to win because I just simply love working with opals. I like to frame the opal with the colours that are in the opal, the beautiful blues and greens and pinks and oranges that you find in the opals. And I feel as though when you're wearing a piece of opal jewellery, it's like wearing a piece of art. I particularly love this amazing opal ring, which truly is like wearing a painting on your hand. I've surrounded this beautiful boulder opal with umberlite garnet, which is an amazing gemstone, and amethysts and peridots, and it's great dinner party conversation when you're wearing something like that. So the next room in our tour is another very clever room that the museum has created, and we now feel as though we're immersed underwater in a world of pearls. Around the walls, we are showing excerpts from a documentary, Beneath the Surface, that we shot at the Pearl Farm in East Arnhem Land, and displayed in these submarine windows are beautiful strands of Australian South Sea pearls and various pieces of jewellery, some of which I've created especially for the exhibition. Pearls are absolutely beautiful gems to design with, and I feel very fortunate to go to the Pearl Farm every year when I have acquired the entire harvest, which means that I have probably more pearls to work with as a jewellery designer than almost any other jewellery designer in the world. So here we are in another of my favourite rooms, the Explore room, and almost every time I walk in here, I see something different. The museum took 6 months to create this digital wall, and I think it's really amazing. It showcases much of what I find as inspiration for my jewellery, which of course is the nature that abounds around us in Brisbane, and it's really very special. Here also we have some amazing things on display, including these pieces of boulder opal, which have been loaned to us by the Sherman family. These date back to the 1870s and 1880s, and they are priceless and show exactly how you find opal within its host rock. They're very special and very precious. The Sherman family has also loaned to the exhibition some family photos, and they really provide great context for how opal mining has evolved over the generations in Australia. The next family in this explore room is the Ellis family, and T.B. Ellis came to Australia from Ceylon in the 1880s, around about the same time as my great-grandfather came from Northern Ireland. So we have long histories in Australia together. T.B. Ellis was famous in Broome and was a highly regarded pearl diver, and in fact he was also a highly regarded natural pearl peeler. And some of the pearls that T.B. Ellis worked on are actually in the crown jewels, which is such a mark of distinction for the entire family. Here we have a panel that shows exactly how the oysters grow underwater, and you can see that there are 8 Pinctada maxima oysters in this panel, and these panels are suspended on long lines in the water. The beauty of the pearl is directly dependent on the health of the oyster. The most important thing about pearls is the luster, and the pearls that come from this area of Australia are known for their incredible luster. For 138 years, our family has really prided ourselves on bringing the finest that the world has to offer. And this room has really showcased the relationships with those people who enable us to do that. So here we are in the wonderful world of wonders, and this is where all of our really extraordinary pieces of jewellery lie. We also have some of the gowns that I have worn to various occasions, to Prince's Trust dinners with Prince Charles, as he was then, and to G'day USA. I'm really happy to showcase these gowns because the fabrics come from the amazing Alamoda, which is truly the most beautiful and most important fabric store in the Southern Hemisphere. And the gowns have been designed and made by preeminent Brisbane designers, Paul Hunt and Brad Webb. So they are a celebration of Brisbane. Around the walls, we have a broad scope of the jewellery that I have created over the last 20 years. And you can see that the museum has curated them really beautifully. So this world of colour is really important because every piece of jewellery has a story. And it's when you know the story behind a piece of jewellery that it takes on a whole personality. It's not just a gem or a combination of gems, it's the story behind each piece. And when you know where each gemstone has come from, what mine it's come from, the person who has cut the gemstone, and then the story behind the craftsmen and women who've spent hundreds of hours creating the piece of jewellery, then it simply comes to life. So thank you very much. It's indeed a great honour for me and for our family to have this exhibition at the Museum of Brisbane, and I'm thrilled that it has been such a success, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today about it.